Hi!
Hello.
We'll give people a few minutes to hop in. But while we wait, Magx is here with me today. We're going to have such a fun time Magx is going to be doing makeup, not me. And we're going to be...
You'll have the makeup on you.
I'll get to display the makeup. And we thought this would be a really fun way for people to kind of get an idea of what the looks will be in the Body Love experience, which is the half-day mini retreat on Sunday, May 1st that we are hosting. And it's all about celebrating you in your journey with yourself, with your energy, with your body, all of that. And it is aura themed. Mm-hmm. And you can see that Magx has already got her theme going today. Look at that. So good, so good. And so when you participate in it, aura themed means that I give you your aura colors that I read for you. You get to choose which color resonates with you the most. And we buy you these underwear sets with a couple different styles that I let you choose from as well. And then we have a makeup look, an editorial, kind of more fashion inspired fun look. And we'll be having colored paper, different effects. Like, it's going to be so cool and so much fun. And I just can't wait. So this is to give you kind of a sneak peek of what that might look like.
Yeah. I'm excited to get started. So do you want to give them your...
Yes. So thank you. We read my aura colors before we got started, and they do change. So I don't think I've really chatted about aura colors all that much, but it's just a color that represents your personal energy. And there's some that stick around more because it's more about your personality, and there's some that change, can be influenced by whoever is around you that day. And so mine today are green, which is typically hangs around for me. It's very heart-centered. Blue, which is more like throat-centered speaking, which kind of makes sense for doing an IG live today. Yeah. And yellow, which I actually have not seen in my aura before. And I was like, oh, maybe.
Did you drive a yellow car too?
Yes. Yellow is very sunny, like happy disposition too, which makes sense too, because this is like my favorite thing to do is hang out with friends and talk. Usually not live, but this is really fun.
Yeah. I mean, usually there's not an audience, but also not opposed.
Yeah, it's okay. So, so I guess I'll just let you get started. You can tell me when to not move my face.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. We can just kind of chat. So before I forget, because I probably will, we do still have one spot available for anybody that is local or non-local to Cincinnati that would like to come. We have one available, and I'm so excited about the 4 people that are joining us already. In addition to Bird and Rose, the photography studio that'll be doing that'll be doing your individual and your group photos with all of us. Chelsea from Conscious Seed will be there, doing tarot card readings and providing the best like body and nerve nourishing products. So I use her teas, just posted out today. I use her elixirs. She makes amazing things, amazing. So there'll be a goodie bag with that in there and food. It's gonna be amazing.
And in the swag, there's the Pleasure Balm as well, though, right?
Yeah. So in the swag should be the Pleasure Balm, and I think, Chelsea, if you're watching, you can correct me. Maybe the Psych Oil. The Pleasure Balm is a really great lubricant. It's also great just like to provide a little bit of sheen too. We thought it could be pretty even.
Ooh,
just
fun.
Like a body.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the Psych Oil I know you can use for many things. I actually use it for cramps mostly, but you can use it for your hair, for cuticles. It's a really beautiful product too. And then Chelsea and I are going to talk more, but I think Chelsea's going to make some like custom little drinks too with some of her elixirs in it. Yeah,
that's so much fun. Mm-hmm. I have used the Pleasure Balm. It's amazing.
Seriously, everything I try, I love. I genuinely mean that too.
Look towards me. I just want to,
yeah. Close
We're starting with yellow.
Ooh.
So we're gonna do little Orbeez.
Pretty. So we did it last year, and an abbreviated version, let's say, for my own brand shoot for Mend, and Magx was there, and a few other of my friends and friends of friends, and it was just, I don't know, it's hard to explain, like really
It is. I went into it definitely thinking of it more as like, helping build like your website out and that kind of thing. But it just it turned out to just be like just very affirming. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I knew we made fast friends, but I knew that anyone that was friends of yours, I would feel kind of nice around, but I kind of went in definitely not knowing what to expect, and it just turned into this very naturally and kind of like effortlessly.
Yeah, effortless. Yeah.
Again, affirming, and just like I said, I think you posted my favorite picture of me in the chair, but that was just such a fun, that was like towards the beginning of the group shoot, and Katie asked, like, who wants to get in the chair? And no one really wanted to, and so I was like, I'll do it. But then everyone just started hyping me up.
I remember that. We were all like, yes. And like, as you like posed in it, it was just like, it was perfect. It was like, yeah. And I think that's the magic. And we actually met at a different photo shoot that also was about like body confidence and expressing yourself. And I can say just from doing that and the one that we did for my brand, like you don't know the people, you don't know what to expect. It's really vulnerable. Like there's that moment where you're like, so I take my clothes off now, right?
Right. And for me, I was like, being in undies, that's conservative.
Yeah, I
know. But I do realize like there's just different levels of like comfort that everyone has, and so it was a really sacred thing to be able to hold space for others, where it was like a much, I don't want to say big deal, you know what I mean? But like where it was just something very different, and like being able to hold space for them and their exploration of like vulnerability through like showing their body in that way.
Yeah, and I think there's like two parts to that vulnerability, at least there are for me. Like there's the like actually like, all right, I'm in my undies now, there's gonna be photos taken of me, and then getting the photos back too, because then you see yourself, and sometimes that can be super empowering, and sometimes it can be a little hard too if you're based on like what you see and how critical you are of yourself. And like I just think because of the magic of the experience that we all had, it was just, and Katie is amazing.
That's what I was about to say.
Katie's amazing. Like just both of those things, it was just like, I mean, I got all of the photos delivered to me first before I sent them quickly to all of you guys, and I was just like one after one after one, like, oh my god, they're so good.
I did not know what to expect, and like being fully vulnerable, like the reason why I knew how to work that seat is because when you're fat, you know what angles work for you, or if you don't, you're usually more camera shy, that kind of thing. So like getting in that chair was kind of no problem, because I was like, I know a formula.
Yeah.
But I was nervous. Like every single photographer, has their own style, and I hadn't really checked out Katie's stuff. Mm-hmm. Not nervous like any other reason other than just the unknown, and she worked so fast, and to get those back and just all of them be like, knock it out of the effing park. I was like, I don't even feel like I don't think I could have done that. That had to have been like a perspective grab, like a true artiste.
So good. Yeah, I agree. And I think that's the thing too, like Katie makes you feel so comfortable, like, no matter what state you want to be in. If you're like totally excited and ready and down to dance, like she's there. If you're like a little nervous like me, I had my photos taken first before all of you for my brand,
right? And
I am like mega awkward when it's just myself, like a photo of myself, and even trying to warm me up, it's like it's rough. But then once all of you guys came, I was like good to go. I was like in the magic and the momentum, and it's I think there's something to say about, I mean, they're all my friends, so of course I think the quality is amazing, but like the quality of the people that are there, like if you come to this and are a part of it, like you're going to be 100% supported in whatever way that looks like for you and your comfort level. And we were even talking about the makeup here beforehand. I was saying, so if I say your aura's blue, like because of the theme, like you might be on a blue background, you might be on a white background, but with some like blue treatments. We used flowers last year to get those like cool spots and things like that, but maybe you're a little uncomfortable with blue on your eye, or you don't want the whole look. Well, there's multiple aura colors we see, right? And you can work with that and make like some interesting orbs, like you were saying, or like different ways to diffuse it or things like that. So it's all about people's comfort level too, right?
Or even if they're already like dressed in those colors, like working complementary colors, or just like enhancing with pops, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's lots of options, and the reason like editorial makeup can sound scary, it usually just means like makeup you wouldn't normally wear out, which I think is the whole fun of this shoot, is it's something completely different. Like I know a lot of like people who've done boudoir. I've done boudoir shoots, and like those are usually kind of, I feel like sometimes for other people or geared towards other people. But an aura, that's like something, it's something you kind of have to trust. So to be doing like a focus shoot on something that you can't even show by getting naked, you know what I mean? It's something that's like, it's more mystical, but also just like, you know, I don't know how to describe it, but it's intimate in a different way. Yeah. And like,
that's what I love. It's like, of course we're there to celebrate like you and your skin, like in your form, but also what's not seen on your form too, like the energy of you and who you are. So it's this like holistic view of you. And you know, I think the style that we're going for is like, if anyone's ever seen an actual like aura camera, like photography taken, like it's called this like a stylized or like fashion kind of like aura photo, which I think is just going to be so much fun. I really want to get one done. There's a place that pops up around the country sometimes I want to go to.
There's usually like a psychic mediumship festival that comes around like once a year too. That's why I got it done. I'll keep you in the know.
Yeah, I saw one once too where they will do like couples together and like how your aura, like crosses. Like melts. Yes, and I was like, ooh, that'd be really interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like all I'm gonna say this whole time is how excited I am. But that's my jam, is like bringing together groups of people and celebrating them. Yeah. Yeah,
and I just, like I said, I just think it's such a unique thing to layers of vulnerability, but again, also just like it's just one of those things that I think the trust in the process and kind of like letting yourself do things that you wouldn't normally do, like editorial makeup and things that you definitely wouldn't normally wear out of the house, but like for a focused photo shoot where you're going to get to capture these memories, and you'll remember like times when you were unsure during the photo shoot, and when you get those photos back and you're liking what you're looking at, like you get to, it's multifaceted.
Yeah. You
get to like overcome some of your own, like, we all have negative self-talk. I think that's like, if we didn't, we wouldn't have the body love chats in a sense, you know what I mean? Like if body love and that kind of thing was so innate and really prioritized as it should be, like, you know.
Well, there's always going to be things that pop up or triggers or things that, you know, bring it back. Like, it's always a process for sure. Yeah. I think the thing I was just thinking about too that was so like fun and powerful for me was we all did a dinner afterwards, which again, like I just was like, oh, all these people so that they would be here for me today and like help me with my brand, and like anybody that wants to come to dinner can. Everybody wanted to go to dinner, which was great. And so for this one, we're doing like lunch and the drinks that Chelsea's gonna work with and all of that, because I think it's really important after you just did something very vulnerable to be able to like sit with these people and chat and like integrate. And if for some reason that's not your jam, like you can peace out too, but like that it's not just like, oh, photos are done and we're out of here. You can kind of like take a break and like actually be in the moment. I mean, we had, I remember funny conversations with ours.
So many
like,
laughs.
yeah, like laughs, like, oh, you brought your camera, your Polaroid, which was so much fun too.
I think
like,
I'm planning on bringing that to the shoot too. Do you think Katie would be down for me to like of the makeup?
oh, I'm sure.
That
Yeah.
way, yeah. That way people could have little instant films to take home.
Totally. Yeah. So I think that's what's nice too. There's in between, since the makeup will take a minute. That's why we have it from 12 to 4. That's why it's not like you have your own time slot, so we can spend time with everybody. People can get their makeup done. You can come chat with me if you want about like your style and a little style consult. You can get your cards read by Chelsea. Yep. So many good things to do.
Do you want to take a little sneak peeky?
Yeah. Ooh, it's so much fun.
We're gonna add the blush to go through it.
Yeah.
So you'll have some like surge of pink.
Yes.
Do you like the amount of yellow, or you want less yellow?
No, I like the yellow.
Okay.
Yeah. So and that's an example too of like while we were chatting before we joined this, like I told you all 3 of my colors too, if we wanted to integrate them in, just like you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, if they're all present.
Yeah. Yeah, usually I see 3 colors with people. I'm not sure why, not always. Sometimes I see 2 or 4, but it's usually 3.
2 or 4. Yeah. I feel like, well, I don't really know. I don't see I don't see where
There's like it's almost like layers. Yeah, so you can only have like so many like layers outside your body, but yeah. So it's fun. They get to play with that, and the ones that I have today are like a nice little palette all together.
Do you have any darker blues, or is this light blue it?
Oh, that I was seeing.
Mm-hmm.
It was darker actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do some depth.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting outside yourself, and I talked a little bit about this in my Body Love chat, of just like actually perceiving yourself outside of the normal ways you perceive yourself in the mirror, and you know, the rituals you've come up with. Some people don't look in the mirror, some people, you know, avoid them, some people it just depends. And like being able to see yourself again, another like Katie prop, but like she's just so talented through that lens. And then again, like I think what will be unique is these are people who are meeting each other for the first time. Granted, one of my friends who I've done lots of makeup on, Stacy, will be joining, and I've done her makeup for proms.
Oh, so much fun.
And maybe not prom, but at least some homecomings and theater. We did Pippin together. So we definitely did some editorial styles already. So I'm excited to see her and have our worlds kind of merge. But then I do know Chelsea. But it's just one of those things where...
Yeah, I mean, in this one, there's people I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I guess the first where we met, I didn't know people, but for my brand shoot, I knew everybody. And I think that that's just like such an honor that people trust me and everybody that's going to be there, and Katie and all of it to join and want to do that. I think that's amazing. And yeah, what you keep going back to, I think just being able to see how other people see you. So in the case of like the photography, even like how you're going to be doing makeup, like if they do a style consult with me, it's just, I think that's really interesting, because obviously, like you said, we all can be hard on ourselves at times, and it's just not how people see us usually.
It's not.
Right? Like,
I was just telling my mama, like, that, you know, even you, and I'm talking to you like you're my mom, because she's one of my best friends too, so, you know, relatable. But like, you might know every single part to your story, but you still don't know you, because like, you are what you put into the world, and you don't necessarily get to remember all like the really great little things that made really big impacts to people.
yeah.
Because usually we're focused on tasks, we're focused on just a lot of other things. We're like humans are very, weird little creatures that like you know, we really love to play pretend, and some of those things are pretty detrimental. Other things are like really fascinating, but like we're distracted quite a bit, and so these moments where we get to really be present and really get to focus on making those core memories and like having a good time and really focus on ourselves. They're just super sweet. Like, they're just super sweet moments when it comes to the whole experience.
Well, I love what you wrote with your testimonial from last year about how when you wear the set, right, like it makes you think of that day.
It does.
And I think that's like, yeah, I love that there's like so many tangible pieces that you get out of that. You get the photos of yourself, you get the set, like these things that can help anchor into the emotions that you feel in that day.
Yeah, I wore them on my first day to work. You know, like it's like a different hug. And I do think like it's even the pictures I don't necessarily love on myself. It's not big. Don't necessarily love about like myself. If there's others or like there's none of them that I would not like show. Like I've like definitely like been the person to be like not to try to get you to look at these pictures of me, but also like look at these pictures of me because this was just such a cool experience. And I also just think this whole aura themed one is just gonna kind of like take it to the next level of like, that one was definitely beautifully themed about, you know, like witchy vibes and
and it was like kind of like community, and I wanted to express in my brand like this community feeling, like different types of people to serve. Like I don't want it, even though when you do a service with me it usually is very individualized, I love community, so I love like these events and things where it's yes about you individually, but also like gaining this experience and healing from like the collective, right?
Yeah. I think it will be really just, I'm so happy I get to be there to like observe and soak it all in too. Because I don't know, there's something just about the metaphysical that's always drawn me, but like especially something that is community oriented around like not only having those photos of yourself to keep, which like I said, some of these photos especially, like I will just like I said, like harass my friends with like any chance to repost them. Like when you post things, like it's definitely to support you, but part of it's also just to show myself off.
Yeah, you should.
Like, you know
That's
what I mean though?
for.
Like and I think it's just I've done photo shoots before. I've like had experiences similar, but it was just very different in the production quality. Like it was just an all around like really awesome vibe day, but like I said, I still talk to like Kristen and like, you know, like there's just really special, it was more special in just the sense that like there was just this like melt, and I think it's just going to be even more apparent when you're talking auras in the same way that auras like melt.
Ooh, I like that. Like there was something else I was going to say and I already forgot because I'm just like hyped up, but it was magical for sure. And I love that you said you still talk to Kristen. Like I mean, a lot of it's like internet friends, right? But it's just like you post this picture, like you see it's amazing. Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Celebrating new jobs with people.
Yes, actually, seriously, I think my favorite photo is the one I post of you quite a bit, like where you have the fabric and the movement, and like it's just really cool even to see like how different bodies show up like in movement, because like me, like I'm tall and like, and I wasn't as good with the fabric. I was like, you know, that time, but like you were like so graceful with it. Brittany and Kristen were like playful with it. Like just to even see like how different bodies move, like the shapes they make or like the things that they do in movement. Yeah,
I think that is some of the nice like some of the nice part about like a group is that I especially like that there were different little shots that were thought of that like different people kind of like sat out of and jumped into, like give it a break. And I think there's a really, and we kind of had that even with Nikita's shot and like getting to sit back and watch people be beautiful. And honor their vulnerability and honor what it takes to break out of your shell so quickly. Like, even when there's a really great environment fostered to, like, enable it, there's still a lot of...
It's really cool to be the person to sit back, and to watch it happen. Yeah. Which will be more of my role this time. Like, last time it was a lot of, like, centered around me and my brand, and makes me a little uncomfortable. So I'm like, yes, I have to be everybody's cheerleader. It's gonna be so good.
Cheerleader, and like I think that's the other thing is it did happen really fast, and if you're not necessarily as used to like getting pictures taken and that kind of thing, I think that is a really cool role to have someone to just like ask, like, hey, just making sure, like, spinach in my teeth, you know, like
my Sarah that was there, my best friend Sarah, and Beth too. Like, it was, I think Sarah's role was to make sure I was like standing up straight, because I tend to not do that. I'm like, can you tell me anytime? Yeah, can you tell me anytime? It's like, yeah. Or like with my bangs, like, you know, there's that one hair that's just like always in the middle, like someone to smooth it over. It's nice.
Little alfalfa bang. Adorable though, truly.
So yeah, since this live's a little different, I can't see if there's any questions, but if anybody does have questions after this, you can always DM me, you can email me. I keep meaning to say, you know, we're talking about these photos being shared too, with this event too, considering like it is really vulnerable. You have the choice too to not have your photos shared. So if you're on the fence about it, because you want it to be, you know, maybe more private, that's totally fine. When you sign up, there's an intake form and you get to say like, you know, what photos do you want shared, even with each other or not.
Yeah.
So if there's group photos and you don't want them shared, that's
Look
fine.
at my nose. Okay.
And definitely social media.
There's also, and this is something I've also had to learn just in having done a tiny bit of modeling here and there, is like when you really allow your ego to die in the sense of like wanting to look a certain way because you think it's the most flattering or the most acceptable or like all these different kind of things. When you really let that idea go and you trust people who you've, you know, even this is already like putting that trust in someone like yourself.
Yeah.
Again, it's being able to like see yourself through other people's eyes, which I think that's the point of social media is to like be able to share pictures and like see different perspectives and things, but it's become something where it's about like my least favorite word is flattering. Yeah. If anyone ever like comes at me about like something not being the most flattering, I'll be like, well, that wasn't the point of it. So cool. Good story, brah. But like just axing down those words and truly just being observers. Yeah. It's really powerful, and it takes back a lot of those feelings that you'd usually attribute to anxiety. Yeah. And it helps you get excited about yourself and about literally creativity. Like if everything was supposed to be pretty, there's nothing wrong with pretty. In fact, a lot of my artwork is about like beauty and sublime and like that kind of thing. Like there's nothing wrong with it, but it's also just not the be all end all. Yeah. Sometimes like just being human and just being is just the best.
Yeah. Which is what I love about capturing yourselves. Like, I have to almost like challenge myself to be in photos, because I'm taking photos of my kids all the time, taking photos, you know, and it can be hard to get photos of yourself, but also just like to be able to remember you in that moment.
Do you usually use bangs all the way across, or do you have the part usually?
I usually have the part. I just kind of...
Okay.
Yeah. When I was pregnant with Penny, I don't think there's any photos of me, Penny, because I was just like, I'm not going to share the photos every week, you know, blah, blah, blah. And there are a couple of me with Henry, but I'm like, oh, I should have taken so many more photos of myself to remember, like, that moment, you know, in time. Even, it doesn't have anything to do with being pregnant, just, like, who I was then. And I think that's what's really cool about being a part of any photos you do, this one, anything else, is, like, capturing that moment in time and who you are. I think it's really beautiful for anybody that participates in anything like this too, because you've made that like choice to be able to capture that and celebrate in that.
I agree. I think that is one of those things that does wind up being the regrets of like a lot of my friends, unfortunately, that I've heard is like I always make it a point when I'm around my mama friends to take pictures of them with their kiddos, and it just does like kind of fall by the wayside, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And like you have many opportunities to take pictures, but you only have those moments to capture
Right.
what's going on, kind of like what you were talking about with like, you're like, I'm not going to show these, so I shouldn't take them. But, like, you should take all the photos
Right.
you can.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Well, and there's something, too, and you were saying about social media being, like, for sharing photos, whatever those photos may be. Like, there is this, like, I don't know, like, paradigm where it's, like, either you don't mind sharing photos of yourself, you know, at all, and it's this, like, really nice outlet to be able to do that and express yourself. Or, like me, I was, like, I don't want to show my face at all on this brand, but it's my brand. Like people want to see you, right?
Yeah.
Like, but I'm like, oh, what? It's Mend. It's like not Amanda, you know. So it's
Amanda.
It's Amanda. It's been really, actually, a big growth for me and myself, in like allowing myself to post photos of me, like to share about me, like all of that. I wouldn't do that on my personal account. Like it's just. That wasn't really how I was raised, right? To like have a lot of attention or anything like that. And so it's been really cool. It's almost like having like an archetype of myself almost like to put out there. And it's been really interesting, and it's cool to see the growth in like now not caring if there's a photo of me in my underwear. Like it's all good now.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We love to see it. Well, I think that's the thing too, is it's like those shoulds really wear us down. Like those, I shouldn't do this, or I should do this. But like, if you're drawn to go do a photo shoot completely naked, you should do the thing. Because like, at the end of the day, you're honoring yourself. You don't have to like, I'm just a big fan of like leaving the shoulds behind, because I think that it just gets to this point where you get trapped by them.
Oh yeah, can definitely be paralyzing, like for sure. I have a ton of anxiety, and there's all kinds of shoulds in my day, or fears or things like that pop up, and I'm always having to like kind of reevaluate, like, is this really just like a fear, that a small fear like that I can just take action and overcome, and it's going to be great, or is this just like truly something that's not for me? You know? And that can be really hard to discern.
Training that intuition.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it really starts with like listening. It doesn't even start with like really training. It starts with like actually listening to it. And actually, like sitting with discomfort is obviously very uncomfortable. But you can learn a lot when you actually sit with the feelings of like, what would be there's this movie called Butter. Have you ever seen it?
I don't think so.
It's so funny. But there's this scene of this guy talking to his foster daughter, and she's really scared to go in and sign up for this butter sculpting contest.
Mm-hmm.
And he just is like, what's the worst that can happen? And they just come up with like a bunch of these, like, they start off kind of real, but then they get really silly. Like, what if there's a vampire in there that like only drains this kind of blood, and like, but like sitting with those feelings and actually exploring them usually sucks for a little bit, but then like once you've learned the origins of some of those big feelings, there's a lot of decisions you get to make instead of reacting.
Mm-hmm. Well, totally. I mean, that's like, I'll totally be vulnerable and share like this whole retreat that I've been planning. Like, you know it. I've been texting you like, oh my God, like, I'm so scared. I'm opening this up. Like, I'm launching this. Like, what if no one signs up? Like, all of it, you know, and all kinds of other things too. Like, just about like reaching out and posting. Like, I don't post that much, you know, in terms of like what other people do. And it's really been able to help me see too that those shoulds or those things that I've been saying like aren't as hard as I think they're gonna be. You know, like the reason I don't post that often is because I feel like I don't have that much to say, or I'm like, oh, it's gonna take so much time to make all these things. And like the like shorts reel I made the other day, like that was so much fun. It was so much fun. It didn't have to be that hard. I wanted it to be helpful. Good. Or even just like, you know, spreading the word about this event. Like, it's not that hard. You know, it felt like it was going to be. It was going to be really, really hard.
It always... This is actually a AOC quote, but like, I think she was asked like about like how she could be so courageous. And she just admitted that like, you never feel courageous in the moment. It's only when you're looking back that you get to like understand the magnitude and understand everything. Like, I mean, hindsight is 2020. That's age old, you know. I guess maybe since glasses. I don't know how long 2020 is, you know, whatever. But like, yeah, courage just, it isn't something you see as you're doing it. It only feels like that butterfly or it just feels big, but it's because you're stretching.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's because you're stretching and exercising a muscle that we've been taught not to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Yeah, I think that all could be things that are around too. Like if you wanted to have photos taken of yourself or not, there's so many things you'll worry about, or what will people think, all that kind of stuff. And that's why I wanted to say too, like, what I love about this is that yes, there's a scary part of being in front of a small group of people, but then those photos are yours to do with however you want.
Yeah.
If you want to like keep them to yourself and just remember that special day, that's great. If you want to use a platform to share them, that's amazing too.
Yeah, I haven't actually done much sharing of them yet. I haven't like really known what to do, but
yeah, I
still envision like
I said, it's nice when like I share them, right? And, like, you can be like, yay,
It's like, it is actually really nice. Like, it's like, again, like I've kind of said, and I think that was hard for me growing up, to really understand how I was perceived. So it's always just like such a, it's really meaningful when you share them, because it feels like I've always felt like people were ashamed to be seen with me. And so it just feels like this like next level of like next level, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, put some mascara on. I'm gonna let you do it because, you know.
Oh, you put it right in front of me. Yeah. Thank you.
So you can really get, you know.
Get up in there.
Yeah, mascara's kind of like the cherry on top, I feel like, when it comes to makeup. I do want to put a little bit of glitter. How do you feel about glitter?
I'm okay with glitter. I'm cool with anything. And I guess we should say, like, I'm like super flexible, and I love when other people do my makeup. Like, I'm totally happy with it. But I guess we should say too, like, the day of too, people can tell you their like comfort level.
Yeah.
Too, right. Like,
yeah.
And, like,
comfort level. I don't like these colors. I don't want designs.
Yeah.
I would rather have
maybe just
focus
like
on skin, or like let my lips be the star. Like there's definitely a lot of different routes.
Maybe too we should bring just like I can bring an iPad and just show some of the Pinterest board inspiration too. So if it's like a look that you really like. Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways this can go. I just posted a picture on my Instagram story the other day of just like the blush.
Yeah.
Which like blush is such a power statement.
Well, and I loved how you showed too, like how it showed up on camera, because that's like sometimes you look at yourself after you had your makeup done for
anything,
an event, like a formal event or something, and you're like, whoa, like, because that's not how we see ourselves. And then on camera it just it shows up differently.
It looks so different, which is just, this kind of reminds me of like Starry Night.
Oh yeah, the colors. I think if there's anything else I didn't hit. The other thing I've put a couple times on my stories, but if anyone hasn't seen too, if you would feel more comfortable with like a 2 payment plan, or want to talk to me about options, like anybody that really wants to join, it's really important to me that there's a way that we can make that happen. And so just send me email, DM, and we can do that too. I want it to feel like a very like abundant day. Just so good. So many good things.
You like face?
You're like, yes.
I love glitter so much.
Yeah, I love like the timing of this too, with Euphoria being so big with like the makeup looks too. It's just like fun, because then people will know what you're kind of like getting at. It's really fun.
You're getting freckles that are also glitters, because you got such cute cheeks. You gotta call them out. It's the kind of call out culture I like.
Let's see, other things we were talking about too is I'll send a note out to the people that are joining, but like the day of, I think we're still deciding on whether to wear foundation or not, but also if there's any products that you really do like you have a favorite lip color and that's just what you want to wear, then you can bring that with you too. Which in my case, I'm just like super jazzed to have someone do my makeup in any way they want, but
I'm sure Penny would do your makeup.
Oh my god, Penny would love to do my makeup. She asked me to put on lipstick sometimes for her, and I have I think it's down here, the little lip gloss has like a kitty on the top.
Can you go find a couple bigger ones? Okay. Look how cute you are. Might add some in there too. Let me know what you think.
Oh my gosh. The glitter is so cute. So cute. Yeah.
It's like I said, they're like little glitter freckles.
I love the blush. The blush is really pretty.
NARS orgasm.
Yeah, there we go. We were just talking about it. Yeah. I guess should I get closer to that?
Yeah, give them a little.
Yeah, so Meg's just put these little glitter freckles on. You can see there's parts that are like more defined. So again, yeah, like you can either roll with it. Oh, I see hearts. Yay! Oh, Amanda, you're the mellowest, hyped up person I've ever witnessed. Well, thank you, Karen. Someone told me once that I had a really nice, like, easy listening podcast voice, and I was like, true. True. Yeah, so
coming next, by the way.
This is amazing. Yeah. I love it.
I love it too.
Yay!
Your aura is beautiful.
Thank you. So is yours.
Thank you.
I think I got in some of your sunny yellow today. Cool. Are we good?
Yeah, unless there are any questions.
I don't think so. I just see Karen's comment. I wish I could come play pretend. Oh, I wish you could come too, Karen. Oh, Chuck joined for a second.
Hey, Chuck.
My husband. Yeah, that looks like that's what we got. So, yeah, if you have any questions, DM me or even Magx too if you have questions about the makeup or any other thing there. And thanks for joining. Bye.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks.
It was fun.